Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Insurance COVID Cast. And today we have another Newsmaker special focused on the people and the businesses that are making headlines during lockdown. And today, I'm delighted to say, I'm joined by somebody who has stepped up to become Group Chief Executive of their company, Crawford Company, during this month. That is Rohit Verma. Hello, Rohit.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. It's Monday. So, Rohit, perhaps to start with, it'd be good for those of you who perhaps don't know you, if you give us some background into yourself and your insurance journey to date.
Sure, happy to do that. My name is Rohit Verma. I look like this with my hair because I'm in the middle of COVID and I cannot get a haircut. So this was done by myself. So it doesn't say much about my haircutting skills, but thankfully we don't need that in insurance. Um, but my insurance journey started quite a while back. In fact, prior to joining Crawford, which I did about 2.5 years ago now, maybe just under 3 years actually, I was with Zurich Insurance. I was there for 10 years. I had several roles over there. I started in a role of strategy, like most consultants do when they make a transition from consulting into the corporate world. Then I was responsible for building a new business there called Integrated Products, where I was the CFO and head of strategy. And really, it was there when I was the CFO and head of strategy of that business that I started to get very interested in underwriting. I was very fortunate to have some great mentors and leaders who trusted in me and gave me the opportunity to lead one of the underwriting organizations at Zurich, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. That is where I realized how insurance is such a great mix of really art and science, or in some other ways, really the technical skills and the people skills. And I absolutely fell in love with what I was doing. From there on, I took over as more of a general manager for a region for Zurich, which was one of the four regions in the US. And after that, I moved to Crawford. Before that, I was with McKinsey and Company, where I served a number of global insurers and bankers. But I would say that my true love for insurance really started to come in as I took on the underwriting role.
I have to ask, Rohit, you took over last Friday, which was the 15th of May at the AGM of Crawford and Co. How was that managed during the pandemic with social distancing?
Yeah, so to go a little bit backwards before going forward, we had started the process of succession planning about a couple of years ago between Harsha and myself and other members of the team. And when we had started that process, it was a very orderly process. We went through a whole development plan. We worked on the development plan, and then earlier in the year, we had decided that we were going to make the transition at AGM. And so it was a very orderly sort of transition. However, in the month of March, we did debate a little bit. Should we move forward? Should we not move forward? What happens with COVID? And we decided that we were going to move forward. The AGM was done virtually. 95% of our people are working remotely. You and I are doing an interview
Yeah.
virtually and remotely today. So we said, look, why don't we have our AGM like that? We had really, like I said, the transition process had already begun. So the AGM was just a formalization of that transition. So I want to say it was sort of issue free. We went through it. It worked out absolutely fine. And here we are today.
So it might be said this is a quite a challenging and interesting time to take over as a CEO, i.e., during a global pandemic.
Yeah.
Or do you actually see it as one that actually offers interesting opportunities and possibilities that might not have been there beforehand?
Yeah, look, I'm a huge fan of Winston Churchill's wit. And one of the things that Prime Minister Churchill said once, he said that every pessimist sees a challenge in every opportunity, and every optimist sees an opportunity in every challenge. And I do see, I mean, look, this is obviously one of the greatest issues that humanity has faced in the most recent times. No question about it. It's an economic issue. It's an existential issue for humanity. So it is absolutely a challenge. I'm not going to deny that. But I would also say that, our mission is to restore and enhance lives, businesses, and communities. And I think that mission takes on a new meaning in today's world. Look, it's a noble mission. It stands the test of time. We always say that we're there for people when they're having one of their worst days. And frankly, there are a lot of people having a lot of challenge today, as you can imagine. So I think our mission takes on a new meaning in today's world. And then it's an opportunity for us to rise above the day-to-day challenges that we have internally to see how we help the broader humanity, the broader group of individuals that are facing insurance challenges. It's probably one worry that we take off their table. So if they have a claim, it's probably one worry that we take off the table. More specifically, as business opportunity, I do believe, based on the clients that I've talked to, that there will be a flight to quality. So companies like us who have a strong financial strength, who have a long history, who have the technology capability to transition to being fully remote and doing things remotely, I believe that there will be a flight to quality based on what I'm hearing from clients. So that's a huge positive. We've also launched a number of services. I think if you go to our website, you could probably read more in detail about them, but we've launched a number of services that are specifically targeted towards the current time. So I definitely see this as an opportunity. Certainly, it's a challenge for humanity, and but we believe that our financial strength, our resiliency, gives us the strength to step up to that challenge. And frankly, I'm blessed with a great team. I think Harsha did a fabulous job in defining our mission, vision, and values, and putting a great team together.
And I'm saying you are an international business, and you've probably got a very holistic view of the coronavirus. How as a business have you responded both locally and then globally?
Look, first and foremost, we've prioritized the health and safety of our people. And we started to experience this back in January. In fact, our Shanghai office obviously was the one that experienced this firsthand. And and we had to shut down our Shanghai office. Followed by that, we saw Hong Kong, followed by that Singapore, and then Italy, and so on and so forth. So we've been sort of tracking this since January. We decentralized our decision making and really empowered our what we call our country presidents. This is the most senior official that we have in a country, and we decentralized and we said, you need to make the decision, you need to make the call of whether to keep the office open, who to have in the office, but you have to make sure that you are solving for the safety and well-being of our people first, followed by closely with making sure that we are supporting our clients. We then obviously moved, like I said before, 95% of our workforce to work remotely. We did that pretty quickly, including about 800 individuals in Manila who support us. So that was a big undertaking, but kudos to our IT department for making that happen. We then also provided PPE to all of our adjusters and nurses who are outside. We started doing that really when we sent a massive shipment to our Shanghai office. We then sent a shipment to our Italy office, but now we have a very centralized process for actually getting PPE to our people. We also then introduced a very specialized triage process. So we have our technology, which allows people to do self-service. So as an example, if you had a claim, you would call us into our center. Our center would send you a link and say, can you take pictures? And if you say yes, then we can actually, and the client agrees, the insurer agrees, then we will send you the link for you to take the pictures. So what we did was we first started asking that. Then the second question in the triage from us was, are you or anyone in your family exposed or infected? If the answer to that was no, then we also validated or verified that if one of our adjuster comes to your home or business location, then he or she will be allowed to wash their hands before they start work and after they've done the work, because we wanted to make sure that people were comfortable with that. Only if we got positive responses to those three questions, or I should say favorable responses to those questions, is when we would allow our adjuster or nurse to actually go there. So look, this is, like I said before, this is a challenging time. We are working hard to make sure that we prioritize the safety of our people first. And also, like I said, our mission is to restore and enhance lives, businesses, and communities, so we can actually deliver on our mission and have that service mindset during this time.
You've already touched on this, right, in terms of you have worked alongside, your predecessor, Harsha Agadi, since joining from Zurich in 2017. What's been the experience like working with him, and how would you describe your handover? How's that been?
Oh, sure. Look, Harsha and I, first and foremost, are friends. Like I said before, even before I joined Crawford, I had known Harsha. He is a tremendous individual. He's a tremendous business person. there was a lot of leadership, mentoring, coaching that he's provided me through the years. And frankly, with his role on the board, I expect to continue from a different vantage point going forward. Before being a CEO at Crawford, Harsha was a CEO 5 times. So, he brought a lot of business experience with him. And like I said, he defined our mission, vision, and values, or led the definition of those, and really put the company on a path forward. I come from a different background. I'm an engineer by education and a businessman by training. And as a result of that, I pride myself in building businesses, in building solutions, in creating innovation, which is what I've done over the last 3 years or so that I have been Crawford. What I bring to the table is a very, very strong client mindset. Look, I was in professional services prior to joining Zurich. I was at Zurich, which is also professional services. So I've sort of grown in the professional services world. So that service obsession, that thinking about the client first, is extremely important to me. In addition, I believe that our people are the greatest assets that we have. We're not a technology company or a manufacturing company where we have patents or we have massive assets in terms of machinery. Our people are our assets, and we have to make sure that we put people first. And if we make sure that we take care of our people, then our people will take care of the clients. That's sort of the very simple mindset that I have. And that's really how I've been working in my role prior to this one. And that's what I expect to do going forward. We have some great set of values which define how we move forward. And then with the leadership team, I'll work on defining behaviors that are going to propel us and continue to move us forward.
Because I say you're kind of touching on one of my next questions really, which was, I know that Harsha described yourself and Joseph Blanco, who's the new president, as like passing to, I think it's called the next generation of leadership, and he touched upon your seasoned and client-centric skill set there. Do you think that the new management team? What does the new management team as a collective then bring to Crawford Company? Perhaps anything? What new things does it bring?
Well, look, I think largely our management team is staying stable. What we want to continue to bring, and as I think about what will define success for this team, in the short term, obviously it's navigating through COVID and minimizing the impact of COVID on our staff and their families. That's probably the first thing in the short term that we have to move forward. I think second is to really look at our strategy and say, how do we want to refresh or update that strategy, again, in light of the new normal that is likely going to come through after we get through this, which I think is going to be extremely important. And then I think the third thing, which is important, is how do we make sure that we remain a place where people want to be, where if someone wants to work in claims, they say the best place for me to work is a place like Crawford, where I get professional development, where I get advancement opportunities, where I can have impact. Those are the things that are going to be important. So as far as the leadership team is concerned, that's the charter of the leadership team as we move forward. And look, I'm very excited about this. We have a great noble mission. We have a marketplace that is hungry for leadership. We have a client base which is looking for quality and resilience from their vendors and partners. And I think we bring all of those things together.
So roll forward 5 years. How do you think your management will be judged a success?
Look, if I roll forward 5 years, I think the way success will be judged that at the end of 5 years, where you would have seen a lot of things change because of COVID, a lot of things change because of technology advancements, that we remain in the leadership position that we enjoy today in the claims world, and actually are undisputed in terms of where we stand, in terms of our quality, of our people, quality of the work product that we put out, and our vision, which is to be the trusted provider of expert advice, stays, and we actually are able to project ourselves as the undisputed individuals who are bringing that vision to life. So that to me is probably the greatest measure. But behind that comes our client leadership, our people leadership, our innovation, and our technology leadership, right? All of those pieces will come together and put that vision into reality.
So I have to ask this, coming much closer to where we are today. What will be the when it's over, when lockdown is over? What will be the first thing you'll do that you've not been able to do for about, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 weeks, however long it is now?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
might say haircut because you've.
Yeah, well, getting a haircut is one thing, but I think on a more serious note, look, there are lots of friends and family that I have not seen in a while, and very recently, one of the things that I do actually is I send out a message to the whole company every Monday morning. So there's a weekly message that goes out for me that touches on something that's happening around us, and one of the things that I talked about very recently was how are we actually getting more we are getting closer to people even though we're further away from them, meaning we may not be seeing them, but I actually have not met you before, but I now know what your wall color is in your study, and I actually know that you have games on your bookshelf that I wouldn't have known had we just met in our office. So I do believe that we've gotten closer to people, or we've gotten more intimate with people, but I still feel that sort of going out there, having dinner with someone, or breaking bread with someone, sitting down is an important piece. So I miss that. So I think friends and family. There are a number of offices, frankly, that I need to visit, that I'd love to go see our colleagues, that I want to do. And then if I get a chance, I definitely want to play some golf. I haven't played golf in a long time. And I would love to go out there and hit the range.
Okay, well, Rohit, best of luck there, and obviously best of luck with your new role as CEO of Crawford Company. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jonathan.
As I mentioned at the start, this is part of an ongoing series that brought to you by Insurance Sage Insurance Post called Insurance COVID Cast. If you'd like to find out more or to sign up to Post or Insurance Stage, then please use the banner, the tab in the banner up here on the screen. But until the next episode of Insurance COVID Cast, it's goodbye from me and stay safe, everybody. Cheerio.
Live long and prosper.